Welcome again to this new episode of the Journey Podcast. My name is Manzi Mbaya, and you already know you are listening to the Journey Podcast. Today, guys, I'm very happy to welcome you to this new episode because I have a beautiful girl in the house. Yeah. Hello. So I'm very excited to take this time to introduce her, Ingabire Gretta. She is not only a creative person, but also an artist that I respect a lot. And I've been following her work, and also it's been like 2 years now, I think. Maybe we know each other.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years or more than that.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
So, guys, welcome again to this new episode with Gretta Ingabire. Welcome, mate.
Thank you so much, Manzi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. There is rain.
I know it's been cold.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
been cold.
we had to have tea.
Yeah, tea. Yeah.
Cheers to that. Cheers.
Yeah, that's the basic things
So,
this morning.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And I wanted you on my podcast because I felt like there were so many things that you've been doing out there, and there is also many people that can be inspired by your work, and I was like, you know what, let me just call Gretta and ask her if she will be interested to come to my podcast. This is Gretta Ingabire, and very happy to welcome you on my studio.
Yeah, thank you.
On my podcast. Let's go through the journey. And so I want to know a bit about your story, and also like what inspired you to become an artist that you are today and that you became today. Yeah. How did that start? Yeah. From the beginning?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
Because because sometimes I really don't know how it started. When I was young, I used to love writing and maybe like watching things. I don't know, just like random things, like every other kid who's stubborn but still quiet. So I started writing spoken word when I was in my secondary school. But before that, I used to also write things, random things.
Like that was in primary school?
Yeah, primary. But then secondary, that's when I started like something that I wanted to be a profession,
Yeah.
But I wasn't, confident about anything I do. Because which is
you were writing like poems?
Yeah, poems, stories, what else? I think those are the two main things I used to write about. Yeah. And but I wasn't confident, of course. But like every other child.
Was there any specific of stories or subjects you were writing about?
Mostly things that I go through. Like it was more like things you can write in a journal, your private journal. Yeah. So I used not to share, of course, but of course they will always have. You always have like friends who are stubborn, who's gonna check out your diary, and so some of them started reading them. They could feel different things reading them. Yeah, so that's when basically I started writing. But then art, drawing, it was something that I enjoyed seeing, in movies, paintings, those kind of things. So when I started my secondary, my high school, and that's when I started engaging myself into things of drawing, those biological things, maybe like
because I remember in school we used to study maybe intestine. Maybe you start to draw intestine from school. And then maybe the skull, things like that, so that's when I started like enjoying it, even like doing it. Because I remember for me in primary school, that's when we started to do that. Because I used to draw also in primary, and we were doing like I don't know how they call these big papers in English. Papier cristal in French.
I don't know.
But those big papers, like in different colors. Those are the ones we used to draw in primary school. We used to like skeleton, human body, things like that, ear, eyes,
Exactly. So that's when I started enjoying it in my high school. Because primary used to be the shyest girl ever. And also because I was very quiet and kind of lonely. Yeah. But it wasn't something that I chose to be, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
some kids like just like that.
Sometimes how do I say this? Some periods in life, maybe you are shy at this time, but
growing up, it just
it changes. It changes.
Yeah. So that's basically how I studied everything. And when I finished my O level, we have O level and A level here in Rwanda. Yeah. So that's when I got an interest of going to Ecole d'Art de Nyundo, the only one school in the country of art.
It's in Gisenyi, right?
Yeah, it's in Gisenyi. And then that's why I discovered a lot of things about myself. It was like a journey of a big change in my life. I started, having discussions with classmates and, different artists around Kigali. And also enjoying music because we had music at school.
Was that before the music school also?
Yeah, in 2015. But
you guys had music like a course?
Yeah. No, it wasn't like a course. It was like a department. We had a department of music and a department of art.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started enjoying everything around in school, and that's when I discovered there is this thing called spoken word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to write, of course, poems and different things. So I engaged myself in different things at school, and that's when I started. Yeah.
So which means before you finish your primary school, you knew that you wanted to go to an art school.
Not in primary though, because in primary I used to be only shy. I didn't know what I really want in life. It was just like basically living and enjoying the childhood. But when I started high school, that's when I felt like I wanted to go for art in my A level.
Yeah.
High school. Yeah. So yeah, that's.
And then you find yourself in School of Arts and with other kids interested.
And it was actually a chance because they had given me, you pick things.
Of course, you pick
for
schools
the A level
when you finish your.
So they had given me PCB, which is physics, biology, and chemistry. But then I had to, I had some people at the School of Art who tried and bargained with the WDA for me to go there. So it was like a chance. I was waiting for it for like a week. And then by chance they got me, and I was like, woo, super excited.
Nice.
Otherwise I was going for
and that was the start of your journey as being an artist on the side of doing fine arts.
Oh, fine arts. Okay. Fine arts was really like more of what we learned at school. Like how to learn we learned how to mix paints, to draw simple sketches and all that. But I wanted to know the life, not only like, what am I learning at school? The life of an artist, how is it like? Because for me, it was a new thing. I used to enjoy it, but I didn't know many artists.
Of course, yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, so like in vacation, like after school, I used to go in galleries, in Kigali, the Ivuka, those kind of galleries. Things like that. So I used to go there and, see how they do things, talk to them, learn more about how to be an artist and working in studios and galleries. That's mainly where I started. And I started working with it was an organization called Gamma As Rwanda. Yeah, they used to work with kids and different things. So that's when I started. I was like in my high school, my year 4, senior 4 or senior 5, something like that. So
was that like an internship?
Yeah, it was like an internship, senior 5. But then it became a working place.
Nice.
Space for me, up to when I started doing my own projects. I remember like in 2017. No, 2016.
2016.
Yeah, it was like I was doing like an internship, but also like a job. We used to teach kids about art. We used to make like face painting in parties. Yeah, like in their parties.
Festivals
for kids, and also teaching privileged kids around Kigali, and also in other parts of the country, but mostly in Kigali. Yeah. So it was like I was like now entering into new things of fine arts. It was really like mind-blowing experiences, having to learn that different people around your community, there is people who really want to know this thing called art, but it's still like a small number of people who know about it. And mostly when it starts from kids, it's very interesting. Working with kids, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like a kid, you are very stubborn, but also you want to know, to discover.
I know, exactly. So it was very interesting. That's when I started like knowing this thing called art. It's not only about making things, it's creating things that will communicate to people.
Exactly.
So that's when I fall in love with the fine art,
because you are telling stories through your art also.
Exactly.
And people are just there, and they're not only watching or listening to your art, but they are also involving in that creation, because they are also one of your inspirations.
Exactly. Even the kids were like an inspiration, seeing how they work, and reminding yourself that you have things that you want to talk about, and you see kids who are just doing it. You're like, oh, shame on me. I have to start working on things. So basically that's how I started. And then when I finished high school, I was working with some classmates, and we had like a small group of guys. We also made a mural painting at school.
What is that?
Mural painting. It's a painting on walls.
On walls.
Mural painting. And it was also an experience that was very, very interesting. Seeing a piece of art on a wall where people are going to remember this is Greta who did it, this is this who did it. It's a great experience. And then after high school, we just continued digging, and we had this thirst of knowing more about, the art in general. So,
Nice. And that was you also entering through becoming a freelancer artist.
Freelancer artist.
Working with different artists, meeting people, or maybe visiting different galleries. Nice. And also after high school, I started doing spoken word, really like into it, because we had spoken word. The event?
The event that happened like every month. Spoken art Rwanda. So I used to also go there and perform my poems. I was quite shy for the first time, of course, but I started enjoying going there like every month, and also watching other poets do the same. It was fantastic.
Amazing.
It was a great experience. So I started combining the two, spoken word and art. And doing them at the same time, thinking of projects, discovering also myself, of what I can do and what I cannot do, different things. It was like a new journey for me.
And it was a way of you exploring all those two different arts at the same time.
Those different fields. It was really great.
Because you did like visioning of your performances.
Nice. I used to also have like a performance with also paintings around.
Nice.
We did like different shows at the Kigali library. We did different ways, and that's how I started. So after like being into those, and I started thinking of creating my own projects. So that's when in 2019 I did my solo exhibition. And also I started before that I started a YouTube channel for my poems. I was thinking of not only performing, but making a platform where people are gonna be following my poems, and different ways. So I started that too with the friends from high school. And the feedback was really good. Like, I did even one with a musician called Ariel.
You
already know her. Yeah, it was kind of had a good impact, like on people. People were telling me you did a great job, and I was thinking, wow, this actually works. I should do more about this. But
yeah, I think it's also like when you are doing spoken word, you want also people to see your work, and I feel like social media or YouTube or all these platforms, it's really a good and an easy way for you to put yourself out there, and for people also to enjoy your work, And talking about that, I remember the first time I met you, because we were talking before we record this episode, and you reminded me because I met through you from Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy, he's an artist also, and we went like on Mount Kigali to do like a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't remember the project, but I feel like it was just a project about like wearing traditional.
I think it was a project about traditional things being brought back into the modern times.
Yeah, because I remember Daddy called me and he was like, yeah, bro, I have this project of doing a photo shoot with some friends from school.
Yeah.
Because I think he was still at the art school by the time. And he was like, I know you also are very photogenic and you should come and maybe we do something,
Yeah.
And from there, I think we didn't see each other.
Yeah, for like a long period of time.
Maybe for 3 or 4 years, I don't know.
No, that's too much.
Really? That's too much.
It's like 1 year, I guess, or months. It's like 1 year.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like time flies.
Yeah,
of course. And then we meet again in Kiyovu at this Feline.
An exhibition. Yeah.
And you had your work there.
Yeah,
also.
I had my work there. Yeah.
I think that's the second time we met.
Yeah, that's the second time, and we greatly like.
Yeah, that's when we started to hang out.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
and here you are.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This is so exciting.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
to our listeners, I can't disappoint my listeners. I have to bring them people who are lit, and you are one of them. So I have to make sure that you come on board.
Thank you so much. You're lit yourself.
Am I? You already know. This is the Journey Podcast, the number one podcast in the country. I'm gonna keep repeating this. This is the number one podcast. Of course,
it's the number one.
It's our space. We as artists to talk and also, exchange and also inspire each other and also inspire the people listening to us.
Of course,
talking about the Kigali life, the Kigali life of
creations.
Artists. Exactly.
Yeah.
So how is it so far? You with your creation? How? Especially in 2020 with this pandemic of COVID.
Of course. Well, after the exhibition, the solo exhibition in 2019, I was gonna start like making more spoken words, but in terms of cinematic things. Yeah. So I wanted to do like a spoken word, but more like a voiceover to cinematic videos. Where I would of course have like scripts about the video and working hand in hand with some videographers in Kigali, and also production, creating a good production visually, but also like audio and also posting it and sharing it on different platforms like Spotify and everything. But then the pandemic happened and we were in total lockdown. Of course, there is different things that came up, and I had to go for firstly like gigs. Because I've been doing gigs from maybe like starting from 2019. Performing different places, writing poems for different places, for different people, and also making like voiceovers for different videos for videographers. But I wasn't only tending to stay there, but also like get out of that box and create my own things. So right now basically I'm only doing gigs, but I'm gonna come up with my own projects as well very soon.
So did you stop that project of the visual?
No, I didn't. It's just like right now I'm doing the gigs and also following up, learning more about what I really want to do, and having my time for that. Yeah, it will come soon. It will come soon eventually.
Yeah, talking about that, I feel like for me, this pandemic, especially personally, it's an experience. It's an experience that made me like maybe slow down a little bit and say, what am I actually creating? What should I create? How is it? Do I need to rush or do I need to slow down? And I feel like yes, it was not an easy time for many artists, including me. But I feel like it's also a good way for us to sit down and practice again our craft, and also be like, okay, if this pandemic is here, if maybe for example I can give dance classes publicly, how can I be maybe do more private classes, maybe
or create something else that will impact people on what you do, and also
that will bring me money,
of course.
I need to pay bills, and so I feel like it's been a long process, but also a productive one mentally, because for me, I feel like it's just a way to when I talk to artists, it just also makes me happy, because I see that I'm not only the one thinking about all these things. We are all exploring and thinking and seeing how can we come up with something else,
new.
Nice.
Actually, in the pandemic, most of the people, mainly artists, we had like it was like a stop by, like, when you're working with speed and then something stops you there, and then you're like thinking, okay, what was I doing, and what do I intend to do, and what am I bringing for the people now? New things. What is the new creation a new thing that I'm putting in my creations for people to view it and see there is a change? It was like a moment for us, but which was not easy, of course, but a time for us to learn more.
But do you feel like, because this quarantine started in March, do you feel like there is a change?
For me, honestly, I think there is a big change, because mostly, like, in the quarantine, I used to write things, and I had my time, enough time to write, and enough time to think more of what I can write, subjects, and also what is something that I can put in my creation that is unique and not really like things that they've been looking at. New things, and I think it's also a hard time, because we're not having gigs that much, and we're not having the way to expose things that we have been working on. But we'll go through it.
I mean, everything is possible, and what can't kill you make you stronger.
Exactly.
And I think it's something that when I look back, it is one of the reasons that pushed me to go through and create this podcast, because I felt like, all right, I did mass communication in university, and how can I use this to maybe do something that
create
I like,
a voice for the arts that you do,
for myself, but also for other artists, for us to just be there and talk and inspire each other, and just have a dialogue and talk, exactly.
It's quite interesting, this this innovation.
Nice. And I think you're right also, because that's also the way I view it, and also we just have to keep pushing and keep also continue to do our craft, and also try to just go for it, and if there is an opportunity, we take it. If there is not, we keep just working on our craft.
Exactly.
And talking about that, because you told me you've been writing, and you've been working on your spoken word and poems. Would you mind reciting one
Oof, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, no pressure. It's just I want also for our listeners to enjoy your art,
Of course. I'm
myself.
good. I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've had this opportunity of talking with a lot of women, mostly in art and not only in art. Of course, we have this thing of different things that they believe in women, but which is like not comfortable for women, which we have to break, of course. So, and I also wrote this piece of poem about that. So maybe
amazing, exciting.
I could recite it.
That would be an honor.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gretta Ingabire again.
Yeah.
She is on the podcast. You see how nervous I get when I start to introduce you, because I have so much respect, and big up to yourself. Big up to yourself. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it.
Yeah. So the poem is called Icyaha.
Icyaha?
Yeah, it's in Kinyarwanda, but the title. So, but the Icyaha means a sin.
A sin in English.
Yeah. So this is how it goes. Turi abazira icyasha ariko dusa nk'icyaha. Listen to many advices of my elders, abstain myself from speaking my mind out. It's a myth I hear. They told me you still want me. Quiet or quit, that's my only options. You believe you own the words. But that's what the word made you believe. So go ahead and break me. Go ahead and shame me and come back to ask me for love. Want to know if I was born to provoke? Was my thighs and legs a sin? What was your idea? Me hiding behind the window? Busy, I mind my own mind. Last time I was speaking to my mind, I figured I need the freedom that everybody needs. So watch me slide into these motions of freedom. Don't speak, just watch. Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you so much.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Thanks.
I think it's also, I mean, when you hear the name Icyaha, a sin, and also I hear some of your words you are addressing, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is what we need. This is also some of the things that we need to unlearn, and also learn the most important things, because when we talk about feminism and all of this stuff, it's something that people need to understand, and also know that it's very important to address them, because there are many things that were not right, but here you are. Here you are, Greta, creating your own art and also inspiring many women out there, and also inspiring me, inspiring also all these boys and men out there, to become better, and big up to yourself,
Thank you so much.
I mean, this was nice to hear some of your journey and also your experience as an artist, and how you got into spoken word and also into the school of arts,
and the whole journey in general.
It's still a big journey. I know it's still a big journey, but you're here, and you are.
It's actually a start of the journey, a new start.
Exactly. The journey continues.
Yeah, the journey continues.
I mean, thank you so much for coming to the podcast,
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was really great.
I want you also to come back.
Of course. Yeah, this is gonna be like a home for many artists. Because I believe if you have if you give freedom to an artist to speak out, of course they'll have like a million things to say.
Exactly. Because I feel like that's what I said in the last episode. I feel like we artists know how to talk to each other. Sometimes you go to a weird reporter and they're like asking you bullshit. You have a boyfriend? I'm like, come
I know.
on, please.
This is not. I know that's not the main thing you have to talk about. It's not inspiring.
Exactly, because what we're looking for is just we're looking for people to listen to what we are creating,
and what we go through.
Exactly, So boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, that's my personal life, So this is the Journey Podcast, and big up to yourself.
Thank you so
much. Big
much.
up to everyone watching us on YouTube. Big up to everyone listening to us on every platform we are. Remember, we have this podcast on Spotify, on Anchor, on Pocket Cast, on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
So we are everywhere, on Breaker also. Yeah. So make sure you tune in and you listen to different episodes, and I'm gonna bringing you guys different artists, different creative people that inspires me, but also inspires people from Kigali and around the world.
This is actually a great job you're doing. You're inspiring us too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me drink my tea again.
Yeah.
I mean, how inspiring to have you in the studio.
Thank you. You're inspiring yourself.
Man, this was so good.
I should say that if people would not listen to this, I don't know, they're really missing out things. Because different artists are gonna bring like a light to the voices. Exactly. Where artists are gonna be like comfortable. Yeah. And So guys, thank you so much again for listening to the Journey Podcast. My name is Manzi Mbaya, and you already know the #1 podcast in the country. Woo!
All right. And I hope to see you again. I hope that you guys will be with me again to the next episode. Much love, and also much love to Ingabire. Gretta.
Thank you for having me, Manzi.
Always, and my pleasure for having you. Yeah. So big up to y'all. Much love. Love you.
See ya.
This was dope.